Prisma is an open-source next-generation object relational mapping. Prisma allows you to write queries in a human-readable way and store data in databases such as PostgreSQL, MySQL, Mongodb, and more. Yeah, that's very cool and productive. It consists of Prisma Client, which is an auto-generated and type-safe query builder for Node.js and Typescript apps. This can be a REST API, a GraphQL API, a gRPC API, or anything else that needs a database. Prisma Migrate is an imperative database schema migration tool that enables you to keep your database schema in sync with your Prisma schema as it evolves and maintain existing data in your database. The last one, Prisma Studio, which is a graphical user interface to view and edit data in your database. Prisma schema contains the data source, the database provider which is responsible for the connection to a database, SQLite in this example, the database URL, which is of course in .env file, the generator, which indicates that you want to generate Prisma client, and two models, post and user. The post field on user is defined only on Prisma level, meaning it does not manifest as a foreign key in the underlying database, but it will help you to fetch the posts much easier using the Prisma client. The data model is a collection of models. A model is used to represent a table in relational databases or a collection in MongoDB and provide the foundation for the queries in the Prisma Client API. There are two major workflows for getting a data model into your Prisma schema. The first one is manually writing the data model and mapping it to the database with Prisma Migrate, and the second one, generating the data model by introspecting a database. Once the data model is defined, you can generate a Prisma client which will expose CRUD and more queries for the defined models. npm install Prisma client. Installing the Prisma client package invokes the Prisma generate command, which reads your Prisma schema and generates the Prisma client code. The code is generated into the node modules Prisma client folder by default. If we modify the data model, we need to manually regenerate Prisma client using Prisma generate. You can import the Prisma client in your code and send queries to your database. Now let's see some code examples. We clone a repository with the example provided by the Prisma. Install all the dependencies listed in package.json. We generate the Prisma client and now we can import it in our project. We also open the Prisma Studio and select the project scheme. There is only one post in the database and two users. Let's write some queries. Retrieve all user records from the database. Asynchronous find many method is used to retrieve all user records from the database. Great, there are two users in the database, but the posts are not included. Let's update the query to include the post relation on each returned user object. We told Prisma client to include the post, setting the property include to true. Let's find all the posts that contain the word Prisma in the title or content. For this, we call the findMany method with a filter object. There is one result matching the filter. As you can see, the queries are very similar to natural language. Now let's create a new user and a new post record in the same query using the posts property. Update an existing post record using the update method called with a filter as the first argument and the new data defined in the data property. If successful, the updated object will be displayed. On the right is the object before the update and at the bottom the updated object. Delete a single record using the delete method and a filter where email is alice2prisma.io. Delete a user and all his posts. We try to delete posts for a user that doesn't exist in the database, so we get the error. We change the author ID to 2 and the operation succeeded. We don't have to wait for delete many and delete because they will be processed in a transaction, which will be successful if both operations are successful. If one gives an error like earlier, then no operation will be executed in the transaction, so we are not left with inconsistent data. A database transaction refers to a sequence of read-write operations that are guaranteed to either succeed or fail as a whole. Deleting all records with Prisma Migrate. If you use Prisma Migrate, you can use npx Prisma Migrate Reset that will drop the database, create a new database, apply migrations, and see the database with data. I made the tutorial according to the official documentation of the Prisma. Thank you Prisma for a wonderful product. What do you think about the Prisma? Will you use it in your next project? For a more advanced use of CRUD operations, check the tutorial in the description. I invite you to subscribe, like and share to learn programming fast. Activate notifications by clicking on the bell. Thanks for watching!